Why did Tim Pool stop the IRL show? Well, you can see from his body language the way he's talking, and I know the show is going on right now, and I don't want to be a vulture for somebody else's misfortune. Um, it seems as though he was unable to find staff who, number one, were willing to go above and beyond, but number two, who were as passionate as he was, who were just, into the cause. Now, Tim Pool, I despised Tim Pool about a year ago. Well, not a year ago, about 2 years ago. I don't really care anymore. But at the time, I was upset with him. First of all, I didn't like the way that he treated Adam Krigler when Adam was on there. That's how you know I was watching Tim from the get-go. I was actually a follower, a fan of Tim Pool's early on. But the way that he handled the Adam situation and then the Lydia situation, both of those are really not handled well. But the final straw for me and for a lot of other people was the Jack Murphy situation. We saw what Jack Murphy was after he had the discussion where he said that men who are in their 40s should be sleeping with 15-year-olds, 15-year-old girls. And there was minimal to no pushback. And then he continued to be a regular guest on the show even after his distasteful past came out. And it was sort of a canceling, but the guy was just a reprehensible scumbag. And there's videos on my channel. Go look up the Jack Murphy videos. You will see. But as of right now, the way that Tim is talking, it sounds like people, number one, aren't pulling their weight. That seems to be the number one thing. But I think it sounds like he's also had people trying to sabotage him. Now, he may be referring to the way that Adam Krigler disagreed with him, or the way that the whole Lydia situation with the alleged affairs that went on back then happened. I don't know, and it's not my place to really speculate, although what else are we doing other than speculating at this point, right? It sounds to me that, the studio broke down. Nobody made as much of an effort to go out and fix it. They said, well, I did my job, and that's not my job, and that sort of an attitude. And that would piss me off too. However, I know that Jeremy over at the Quartering is talking about, is this a sabotage? Was people within Tim Pool's company trying to sabotage the company? Well, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But it also seems like a very sudden decision for Tim. Like maybe either this has been brewing for a while, and he's been noticing people that, aren't pulling their weight and need to do a better job, or this is, something very sudden and crazy just happened. Because earlier tonight, he put out a tweet that said, Timcast IRL might be late. And then he was like, never mind, we're never doing this again. The way I imagine it happening was he was planning on it being late, and then he went to the studio and somebody was supposed to be doing something and they weren't. And he's just like, you know what? F this, we're done. And just, quit. I don't know, but it seems to me like, from what I've seen, I've watched Tim Pool for quite some time. Haven't much in the last 2 years, but like I said in my last video, I do check in on him and see what the hell he's doing, because he's an intelligent guy, and he has a lot of information that's useful to have. If there's a story that I'm wanting to report on, and I can find it reported by someone on the left, Tim Pool to me is an acceptable right-wing source or centrist source, one of the two. I'll use them either way. But it's kind of sad to see this happen to anybody. Sorry, my daughter is a busybody and she won't go to sleep. It's sad to see this happen to anybody that's, trying to build something. And I think Tim, at heart, probably not a bad guy. I think his ego and his arrogance are very off-putting to me. But then again, a lot of people probably say the same thing about me. So I don't really know, and I don't think any of us do. Only the people that are there know what's really going on. But if you remember the stories, now I made a video called Why Did Lydia Leave Timcast? And it's one of the 2 most viewed videos on my channel right now. has about 30,000 views on it. And in that video, I brought out the speculations that people had posted online of things that happened between Tim and Lydia. And it seems as though when you have a business that starts online with people who are not professionals first, when they're friends first, professionals later. And I think Tim learned this the hard way, but even still, he has people like I don't remember the name of the one guy that was like a big fan and then is now on the show from time to time. When that happens, the relationship is more than just professional. And I think Tim's business was bound to fail because he brought people in like that. It wasn't a strictly professional thing. And when you have an activist organization, you have to have people that are all on board 110%, just as passionate as you are if you're going to make it work. And very clearly, as Tim said, IRL was not that. His business was not that. There were too many people sitting around not doing above and beyond. So I think there's a lot of factors. I don't think we know anything yet. It'll be probably only a couple of minutes before the internet has been swamped with Tim Pool videos. But best of luck to Tim Pool. I don't think he's a bad person at heart. I'm not personally a fan. I used to be, not anymore. But seeing how entrepreneurial he is and how much money he's been making, he will land on his feet. So I'm not sorry for him. But, it'll be interesting to see where this goes. That being said, I'm going to have to find another conservative news source to cross-reference and fact-check with. So there's that. Anyway, that's all the speculating I'm going to do for tonight. I'm going to go put my 1-year-old to bed because she's running around like a crazy person. That's about all.